Ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch is dead, the wicked witch. Welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast.
Ooh, I just can't wait to be dead.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So I was about to introduce the podcast and start talking about what movies we're going to be watching. However, I did forget that we now have a guy for that. Where is the podcast bot? Have you fucked it to death already, or
what the
podcast bot?
Oh, podcast bot. I think it's right here.
Oh God! What's happened to him?
It takes so long to get over. He's so wet. He's sopping wet.
What did you do to him, dude? It's been a week. He looks terrible.
Chadley.
Hello, podcast bot.
Welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast.
Hello. What are we watching, podcast bot? I want to get you off this as soon as possible.
Today we are watching Sommer of '84. The Swedish people made it. We are watching
You know what, podcast bot? You might be fired. You might be fired because of this.
Venom. Watching Venom.
Marvel's Venom. Yeah, that's correct.
Marvel's Venom. Venom.
I could have done this 6 times by now.
We are watching Stephen King's directorial debut, Maximum Overdrive.
Did you stop smoking in the past week? Because you sound like you stopped smoking.
And finally, we are watching Bryan Singer's Boy Party. Apt Pupil, thank you again for saving me from the Bryan Singer boy parties. This is now canon that we've saved the pleasure robot from a Bryan Singer boy party. By the way, I don't know if you read the Wikipedia entry from last week, but this is now canon.
Yeah, he's been saved. We did save. We didn't go in, but we certainly got him out of there.
Well, you didn't go in, but you worked one.
Yeah, I can't really talk about it. Signed an NDA.
Thank you. Plug me in.
We should let his battery die because I actually don't want him to come back.
No, I'm gonna plug him in because we need him at the end.
He's more incoherent than ever.
No, he seems fine to me.
He seems very confused.
He keeps stealing fucking pepperoni sticks out of my fridge, and I'm like, hey, podcast bot,
what are you doing with those? Yeah, what are you doing with those pepperoni sticks, podcast
bot?
Putting
them inside of them, probably.
Perfect. So, as Podcast Bot said, those are the movies that we're going to be talking about this week. I think we should really kick it off with something really special.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's kick it off with Venom.
Wow,
Venom.
Wow, you want to give it the fucking Star Wars spot?
Yeah, we're giving Venom the Star Wars spot because people really need to hear our review of this movie. I have never seen a movie that has had such a split when it comes to its consumer audience, because half the people I see on Facebook are like, this movie's terrible, and half the people I see on Facebook are like, don't read the reviews, this movie's amazing. Those people make no fucking sense to me.
Baffling to me. And in my estimation, if you think this movie's good, I hate to break it to you, but your mom dropped, yes, baby.
Yeah, if you think this movie is good, I'm genuinely confused and sad for you.
Yeah, very sad.
Very upset for you. Because this movie is fucking garbage. This movie is so fucking bad. We went to see it on, Tuesday night?
Mm-hmm.
And I was visibly and audibly uncomfortable.
I was pretty close to walking, and I'm not one of those guys that normally walk.
Yeah, hey, I watched Assassin's Creed in theaters in full and didn't even think about walking. However, I wanted to walk every second I was in Venom. I think an hour into the movie even, I turned to you and I was like, dude, I'm going to walk. I'm fucking walking. Because of course it's full
of our Patreon. Head on over there in the coming
months when we have one.
when we activate it.
I think it's funnier that
I'm trying to get the podcast bot to activate it, so it might be a while.
Yeah, I think it's funnier that we talk about Patreon all the time and don't actually have one.
Well, it's because that's the big joke of podcasts, right? Is that everybody's got a Patreon that they're making $5 off. You're making $5? Don't have one.
Yeah,
don't have one.
It's not job.
Unless your Doughboy's making fucking $17,000 a month.
What are you doing with that $5? You buying a fucking Rolo and a Snickers bar, you bitch? That's on my dime that you buy your fucking Rolo and Snickers bar? Yeah. I don't think so. So Venom. Let's really dig into this movie. We've already been pretty clear that this movie is bad, but we haven't been clear enough yet, because I truly want to hit this home that this is the worst superhero movie I've ever seen.
It might be the worst movie I've seen this year, and I've seen some of the worst movies of my life this year.
And we spent 6 months screaming about Batman versus Superman, which doesn't even come close to touching the quality of this movie. The just piss poor piece of garbage quality. Now, here's the thing about Venom, is that a part of me wonders if maybe there at one point was a decent movie in here.
I think that's possible, but also like I think inherently with Venom, like you have to be into the character, and that's just not. What'd you say? He's Spider-Man, but rude.
It's just rude Spider-Man. Yeah,
I don't care about like. I think Venom's annoying. I don't think he's a good character. He's like,
I am Venom.
Yeah, but he's doing jokes and shit.
Like a turd in the wind.
Oh, you're gonna do jokes.
Oh, you're gonna say? No. Oh, I'm sorry, evil alien man. You're gonna say the word turd? That's when I clock out.
Jokes.
I'm sorry. I clocked in for this movie because it's my job, and as soon as you said turd, I clocked out.
Yeah, dude, I can't like. And then, the main problem is that we've talked about this before in Black Panther, Ant-Man, Iron Man.
Oh my! I know what you're gonna say.
Almost every Marvel movie. Like especially in the first couple Marvel movies, it's always just them fighting the same suit of them. And if you thought Black Panther was bad, where Warmonger was literally just fucking Black Panther, same powers and everything, take a look at Riot.
Yeah, take a look at the bad guy in this movie, because look, here's the thing: Black Panther, Warmonger had the yellow stripe down his arm. It was thin, but you could see it.
Yeah.
It was
okay,
sure. It was thin. You could see it.
And Michael Basketball Jordan actually had motivation in that movie, so yeah. I kind of let it slide. If the bad guy has motivation, fine.
Sure. Okay.
Mad. What? Why are you evil Elon Musk?
Yeah, he's absolutely. That's exactly what I thought too. Is like they're just taking Elon Musk and making him a bad 24-year-old kid for some reason, and they keep talking about all these things.
You think Riz Ahmed's 24?
But no, that's what they say in the movie. They say he's 24. And I'm like, no,
what? I missed that.
No, player, he ain't.
Like, obviously, Riz Ahmed's 35 as shit.
Yeah, maybe the timeline is messy, but I'm pretty sure they said, or maybe they said he hit success at 24.
Yeah, I think it was he graduated MIT at 24.
Maybe. No, because he started the Life Foundation when he was 19. They did say that.
Okay, yeah. See, and this was all clearly set up to be
a movie.
A sequel to Life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, which was painfully obvious. Like, pretty much the second this movie started, and I almost kind of wish it was a sequel to Life. It should have been a sequel to Life. Which, for those who don't know, the movie Life with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds was actually supposed to be a secret precursor to Venom. Like, it was supposed to be like a secret prequel, and then Venom would start where that movie left off. Well, they sort of give you like the half recap, but change the events and make it different so that you can have that Asian lady have the Venom symbiote in her.
For some reason.
For some reason.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna jump onto this Asian lady, and then it's gonna do 6 months later, and then we jump back to the Asian lady getting on a plane. Took you
6 months to get to the airport?
Huh? There's a lot of inconsistencies in this because clearly a lot of it was cut out.
Yes. Oh yes, absolutely. Like I would like. People have been saying that there was 40 minutes cut from the final of this movie, but it feels like
probably more of that because Tom Hardy said his favorite 40 minutes were cut out. That means there was probably more.
Yeah, there's probably at least an hour and a half.
It's like the part that Tom Hardy specifically liked was cut out.
And apparently the reason that the stuff he liked was cut out was because it was too R-rated. And they wanted to keep that PG-13 rating, which, hey, like, let's be fair here for a minute. It worked.
This movie made a lot of fucking money.
Movie's making a lot
way
of money.
More than it deserves.
Still making money. It's like it's
got legs because nothing's coming out.
Yeah.
What's out?
Yeah, it's true.
First, man, not the same audience.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Halloween to destroy this, but even then, I'm not convinced.
Dude, I would be surprised if Halloween even sniffs the amount of money this movie made.
Yeah.
Big money maker.
Yeah, this movie, it made $200 million.
Let's get into the incoherent plot a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the first hour of this movie is I have such a big problem with the first hour of this movie, and that is, first of all, his girlfriend, not character. You got right character. You can't just.
And you got Michelle Williams.
Yeah, you got fucking and Tom Hardy, some of the best actors, and Riz Ahmed, and fucking Riz Ahmed, who's awesome, also.
Yeah, we love Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, and so fucking, it starts off, and it's like Eddie Brock is like, I'm an awesome reporter.
Hey there, I'm a reporter.
I have my own TV show, and then
I'm kind of from New York, maybe.
yeah, he's in San Francisco, but he's got the New York accent. And then like at one point in the movie, they're like, "I'm from New York."
Yeah, it's like because all that stuff that went down in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What stuff?
Yeah. Hey, questions.
We know you're like a blue flame specialist. You're one of those guys that gets the story.
Yeah, he digs deep.
Yeah, you dig deep, but don't worry, we won't show any of that. What we will show is you looking into your lawyer girlfriend's private files, and then that's just it. And that's your intensive journalism.
Yeah, apparently that's how you
call one single person in this fucking movie. Hey, if you're a journalist, you're constantly calling people for scoop.
And then there's also
him pick up a phone in this movie.
There's also like that part where the boss is like, "Who was your source on that?" And he's like, "I didn't got one." No, of course you didn't got one. Didn't call anybody.
Hey, I didn't see you calling single person.
It's fucking whack. So he goes into his girlfriend's personal files. His girlfriend's a lawyer, and she works for her firm works for the Life Foundation, and he gets information and uses that information to sort of grill the CEO of the Life Foundation.
Yeah, Elon Musk, just call. Yeah. You know what? You could have got Elon Musk. He would have been in it.
Dude, he would have read the script and be like, "I get that this is me, but I'm in." I get that you guys are making fun of me.
I was gonna because there was a lot of people just talking throughout this movie, and I was gonna turn to one point and be like, "This should be Elon Musk, right?" Like super loud. Yeah, those should just be in this.
Those guys behind us, there was like frat dudes behind us.
Yeah, they were cracking buds and shit. Yeah, they're like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, they were talking sometimes, and usually like I do the George Costanza half turn, but like
turn. I was more the full turn.
I was just more interested in what they had to say than the movie.
You were doing the half turn, but like because you wanted to get in on the conversation.
yeah. I was giving it a half turn to be like, yeah, hell yeah. So then, like.
So then she just breaks up with them.
Yeah, she just and
that's just it.
And like that's it. But they were like, it's established they've been together for like 5 years, and like that's really not how that goes. She's just like, yeah, I think this is done, and he's like, I.
And it's like he doesn't even try and get his job back, or
he doesn't try to do anything.
Doesn't try to do anything because then it's just 6 months later, and he's just like,
and he's like
drinking.
Yeah, he's just drinking, and it's like, hey, where'd you get money?
You get money from you greet her at Walmart. That's where you get money from.
So this is the part of the movie that I hate the most, and no, actually, no, it's not. But it's a part of the movie I don't like, and here's why: because I don't buy Tom Hardy as a fucking loser. Like they were playing Tom Hardy like he was me, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Tom Hardy doesn't fucking eat chicken wings over the garbage can. That shit I do, and I don't buy it. This dude is way too cool to be like this fucking loser who's like into comic books and feeding the cat. And like,
dude, it's just like the male power fantasy, and it's like, oh, clearly 8 white dudes wrote this script, sort of,
and then he gets like the Venom powers, and it's like, yeah, but Tom Hardy was already strong.
There's a part where like he like tries to his neighbor's playing loud music and he can't knock on the door. He's too meek to knock on the door.
Fucking skinny hippie guy. Like, come on, I would have beat that shit out of that guy 3 times by then. And I'm not that strong. I'm certainly not Tom Hardy strong.
So then we got what's that? Jenny Slate,
who I like. Again,
I love Jenny Slate.
Absolutely wasted in this movie. Her character does nothing. But
Mona Lisa.
Oh yeah, Mona Lisa. Oh god, what a great program.
John Ralphio.
Yeah, still waiting for that Mona Lisa John Ralphio Parks and Rec spinoff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's that good. Give me some of that good.
Yeah, please give me that good. So then like Tom Hardy becomes friends with Jenny Slate so they can go into the lab, and
this is also very confusing.
Also, again, hard-hitting journalism. Like
extremely hard-hitting journalism.
Somebody literally has to track him down and be like, "I'm literally giving you the information straight from the horse's mouth," and he's like,
and at first he's like, "No, thank you. No."
It's like, I'm literally asking you to have your job back, and you do not want this. Why? Like, this dude's fucking circling ads in the newspaper. There's like one that's like hotel made, and he's like, yeah, that sounds right.
So they break into the Life Foundation. He gets a Venom inside of him, and it's very like, okay, fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. If you're gonna fucking get Venom inside him, like
45 minutes into the fucking
it's more than that. It's like an hour in. Given the fact that this is an hour and 50-minute movie, then this movie goes from being bad to being the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. The most inconsistent thing. Now, when I posted my review, and when pretty much like, here's the thing: is that I'll post reviews for every movie that we review, and 90% of the time it's shit nobody cares about.
Yeah, nobody
like,
comments.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's Sommer of '84. Who cares?
No one will ever comment on that.
But when you do something big, fucking lots of comments. People are commenting. People are sharing. People are liking. And so I posted my Venom review, and I saw the same argument a few times from people about this movie. And they're like, well, it wasn't that good, but I think it's saved by the relationship between Venom and Eddie. That's the worst part of the fucking movie. It's the worst, most inconsistent, dumbest part of the movie. And here's why. Because they established that Venom is an evil alien, and that he's invaded Tom Hardy's body, and that neither of them like it. It's not like an ideal situation for either of them. And so then there's like 30 minutes where Tom Hardy, oh, by the way, I just want to bring something up here. If you think that the fucking emo goth dancing scene from Spider-Man 3 is wacky, let me redirect you to Tom Hardy bathing in a lobster bath. Let me redirect you to that.
I hope it didn't work, but I would hope that this movie would make people see how finely crafted Spider-Man 3 is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a coherent movie.
Yeah, it is. This is, however, not, especially in its latter half. Like the first half is like, it's bad, but okay.
It does feel like an early 2000s.
Yeah, like a superhero movie. Like this feels like a Bryan Singer boy party type movie.
Yeah, a boy party movie.
Or a Sam Raimi.
It does. But like people are like, what? We're not craving this anymore. Like those movies were fucking terrible.
Yeah, they were indicative of the time. And in 2018, I don't think this plot structure works very well. But like you do have
just because it's shit that we've seen 10 times.
Exactly. But like that first hour, it's like, okay, it's bad, but like it's a movie. Like it is a movie. Like I'm watching it, and it seems like a motion picture. I don't know what the second half is because it's not that. Yeah, it's certainly not a fucking movie.
No. This is where I really needed to leave.
Yeah,
every time Venom started talking and doing like bits and shit, I was like, oh my fucking god!
Well,
and then he's like, I'm in your head. I know everything about you. 5 seconds later, he gets a call from Ann. Who is Ann?
Yeah, who's Ann? Oh, I'm sorry. Huh? You said you know everything about him because you are just spouting off information in the last scene. How is that overlooked? Because that's something I noticed also. Mm-hmm. How was that overlooked? How did someone look at the script and was like, the scene where Venom says, who is Ann?
Probably because this is a Frankenstein monster of a movie. Because like a little bit later, once they figure out the Venom's killing him and they try and get the Venom out of him somehow, and they do. And then he gets into a dog, and then he gets into Anne, and then he just finds them, and he's like, I'm your friend now. I'm your dad.
Well, I'm your dad. That's the worst part of the movie. And here's why. Because, look, Venom and Eddie becoming friends, whatever, makes sense. Actually kind of makes sense. But like it makes sense in context. In context. Like in theory, it makes sense. Like that seems like clearly where the movie was headed. However, you know what doesn't make sense is you have to lead up to that, and that must be a lot of the shit that got cut out.
Because it just goes from him trying to kill him, he's literally best friends, and he's like, I'm an outcast too.
Venom is literally trying to kill Tom Hardy, and then Tom Hardy gets him out of him and locks him in that room, and is like, "Fuck you! I fucking hate you, you piece of shit! Fuck you! Die, you asshole!" He's like giving him the finger and shit, and then in the next scene, they're like running, and Venom's like, "We gotta save the world," and Venom's like, "What made you change your mind?" He's like, "You." And it's like, and at this point, and I kind of felt bad about this, I pretty loudly as soon as he was like, "You changed my mind," I was like, "Why?"
Like super loud, incredibly loud. The bros behind us were laughing their ass off. Like there's other people snickering because this movie makes no fucking sense at all.
So, and that's why I think the relationship between Venom and Eddie is not good.
It's not good.
It's really
not,
quite
and you
bad.
can't convince me otherwise. Oh, they do jokes? Is that why you like this? Because they do jokes?
But here's the thing. Not good jokes, though. Gotta be funny.
They're not funny.
Sure, gotta be funny.
Like, he's just like, hey, you're a pussy. And then everybody's like,
he's like, what a wild thing to say. And then there's like other things where Venom is like, ooh, that's a dog. I'm going to eat that dog. And people are like, whoa, he's going to eat a dog. Crazy. And it's like, there's no joke, though. It's him just saying he's going to eat a dog.
Dude, there's way funnier shit in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, fucking way funnier. The fucking emo dancing scene is clearly a gag, and I'm confused as to why people don't understand that.
Yeah.
That's a fucking hilarious gag.
Uh-huh. When he's dancing with Mary Jane at the club.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Heavy gag.
Yeah, he's trying to fuck Gwen Stacy in front of Mary Jane.
Oh, that's
perfect.
What it is.
Yeah,
that's a classic film.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. I watched it pretty recently. It's good. It is good.
So then we build up to like this end fight scene, and this like I turned to you and I'm like, what are we looking at here? Because this is
you did say that. What are we looking at here? Because not only is it weird that Venom and Riot look exactly the same, but there's also points in the fight where they turn into the symbiote goop and they're just like meshing together, and it's like I'm not quite. I don't know what I'm looking at.
And then at one point they turn into like a super symbiote. But then later, once Venom pulls out, he just looks like the super symbiote. So I'm like, is there more? Because like, there's also that black guy that had it in him, and he's just missing.
No, yeah, he's just missing at the end of the movie. Now, when you and I were talking about that after the movie, you said, well, here's the dealio, is that maybe he's Carnage.
Yeah, but we've gotten to the bottom of that.
We've gotten to the bottom of that because we did not stay for the after credits scene.
I was so pissed. I threw my glasses into the crowd.
Yeah, you did. You just fucking dropped them.
I was fucking so pissed. And it's not the theater's fault. Yeah, I feel bad for making them have to clean that up. But I was so angry that you made me watch this movie in Horror-tober when this is not horror movie.
It's listed as horror movie, but I mean it's like it's got those spooky like connotations, but not horror movie. I agree, it is superhero movie, and like I even remember like the second the credits started, because like with most Marvel movies, sometimes I gotta convince you to stay for the after stuff.
I don't care. I can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. So, but this time I was like, usually I get you to stay, but if I watch another fucking second of this, I'll leap off a balcony. Now, here's the thing: is that apparently the after credit scene or the mid credit scene has Woody Harrelson roll up.
He's wearing a big red.
He's wearing a fucking big red
Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah, and then he's like, hey son, I'm your dad. I'm your dad.
And guess what? There's going to be a lot of carnage coming up.
Yeah. And you're like, ooh, that's subtle. That's very subtle. Oh, at the end,
and guess what?
There will be carnage.
They're making this movie.
I know.
This shit made $300 billion
in the first 2 weeks. And it's going to make more money.
Legs.
It's going to make more money because there's nothing else to like Transformers now. Like, what else is there?
For this kind of movie, not really.
Yeah, like the next thing we're getting is like Transformers in December.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee, that is Transformers.
Yeah, but you call it by its full title.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bumblebee. John Cena's Bumblebee.
John Cena's Bumblebee. That's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The full title, John Cena's Bumblebee.
I don't know why more directors don't do that. Like John Carpenter figured it out.
Yeah,
like his very first movie, his first big one, Halloween. He's like, I want my name on it, and they're like, all right. So it's John Carpenter's Halloween, and then like John Carpenter's The Fog.
Yeah,
like it's just he's like, I want my name on the front of it. It's like, why don't more directors like J.J. Abrams' Star Wars Episode 9? Well, come on, put your name on it.
Perfect.
But what? You Bob Ross?
Yeah.
Put your name on it.
Yeah. William Friedkin's The Exorcist, I think, is another one.
Yes, because William Friedkin, he's one of those guys where he's like, if I make this movie, I'm going to be putting my name on it.
Oh, yeah, he's a fuck. Oh, Tim Burton is also one of those sicko egomaniacs.
Yeah.
Hey, don't put your name on bad stuff. Stop putting your name on bad things.
No, but then I know, though.
Tim Burton likes it so much that he even puts his name on movies that he didn't make.
Yeah, so the Venom fight scene, we'll get through this quickly. It's just a bunch of spiraling black goo.
Yeah, and then look at Riz Ahmed's character is like, he is like sort of like a twirly mustache bad guy the whole movie, and like but like his general idea is like, yeah, I want to save the planet. I want to say I want to figure out these symbiotes so that we can explore space. Neat.
Okay,
that makes the
sure.
there's the motivation. But then halfway through the movie, don't worry, motivation just leaves, and he's like, I want to kill everybody. I'm going to kill everybody in the
he
world.
has riot in him? Is what I assume.
It
but like,
must
it's just
be, but
it's not very clear.
It's completely ungraceful. And then so then you have the
Also,
Venom riot scene, which
riot.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Is this like, I assume it's a real character, but also why?
Hey, let's have the villain of this movie be called Mean Guy. Why not? Who gives a shit? But yeah, like, and here's the thing: is it like I said, like in Black Panther, he's got the yellow stripe, so it's hard to tell them apart, but you can. Mm-hmm. Not here. This is the same character twice. The only difference is that Riot has those weird scissor hands. And like,
I barely even noticed.
Yeah,
and it's so dark you can't even see. And this was 3D, I think, so I couldn't really tell.
It was 3D, but don't worry.
Not used a single time.
Didn't use it at all.
I was like, paid for tongue out there. Get that tongue out there or something. No.
Yeah. Hey, paid for it. Hey, remember that time when fucking Venom tried to throat fuck a cop in this movie? This movie's weird, dude. It's fucking really bad. And then there's the end fight scene. Oh boy, there's the end fight scene, and they're going up in that rocket, and then it's established. Oh, and not the most insanely most insanely unsubtle foreshadowing I've ever heard in my life. Eddie's like, "How do I get you out of me?" And Venom's like, "The only thing I'm weak to is loud sounds and fire." Don't say that. What the fuck? What? Don't say that.
Yeah. So they explain the entire. This movie's for fucking 12-year-olds, dude. So they
fucking play the loud sounds, and they get to weaken the bad guy with Venom and whatever. And then he's going up in the rocket, and Venom destroys the rocket. The rocket explodes, and you assume that Riot would probably die because it's the same sort of shit. Reason definitely dead.
He's super dead. Yeah. His tiny brown body could not survive that explosion.
Yeah, we can assume that he's dead because he was consumed in fire. But in order to help Eddie land safely, Venom also had to be engulfed by the flames, which at this point, Venom's his dad. And
hey, I'm your dad.
Venom's his dad. And he's like, Venom, no. And like, they've been friends
son.
They've been friends for all of 8 minutes at this point. Best friends for some reason.
Because it just, once they become friends, it immediately launches into the climax because they have no time to sit in this movie.
Oh, here's another inconsistency with these movies is that like, at some point they're like, yeah, for the symbiote to survive, they need to find a suitable host or else they die.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, they just, like, start putting Venom into a bunch of different
Everybody
people.
Just gets it.
Everybody just starts getting Venom.
It's in a dog, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's in a dog with the black ears, which I kind of like the black ears. That's a nice touch.
Oh, very cute.
Yeah, very cute. They put it in a dog, and then it's in Michelle Williams for a while, and then Michelle Williams fucking tongues the shit out of Tom Hardy in the Venom suit. Yeah. And it's like, what? And then all of a sudden, and then after that happens, guess what? I'm your dad. I'm Venom. I'm your dad. And so then Venom dies in the flames and is engulfed by flames and is presumably killed. And Eddie Brock goes into the water.
Smash cut.
Then we go to the next scene. And he's talking to Michelle Williams, and she's like, I'm really sorry about Venom. And he's like, yeah, I know, I'm going to miss him so much for the 8 minutes that I liked him.
Yeah, for those 8 minutes, it was really, and he became my father.
Yeah, those 8 minutes were tight. Thanks, Dad.
And then you hear, all of a sudden you hear, hey, I'm your dad. And you're like, oh, yeah, he's back.
Yeah, Venom's just like in him, and it's like, oh, okay.
Don't worry, I'm sure they're never going to explain that.
What? I saw him die, and they don't care to explain it. And then like that's when the movie should end, is right there. But don't worry, do not worry. The people making this movie never made movie before, so there's then this scene where they go into a convenience store and this guy's robbing a convenience store, and then Venom is like, I'm going to tear off your legs and tear off your arms and tear off your head, and you will roll down the street. And then he says, and this is like, it's in the trailer. Yeah, it's in the trailer, but this is the point where I legit almost was like, all right, this is clearly over, and I'm gonna leave now. But he's like a turd in the wind. And then Venom eats this guy, and then Eddie Brock is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I got a parasite." And then him and
I got parasite.
I got parasite, which they say 9 million times in this movie.
That Eddie Brock like cuss on Tommy Wiseau in this movie. A lot of times he's like, "Oh no, my tummy hurt. I got
parasite.
Oh no, I got parasite. I did not hit her."
So that's the plot, and it sucks. It's really bad. Like it's painful to watch. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. Every 3 or 4 years, I see a movie that I hate so intensely that I don't shut the fuck up about it for a while. And this is certainly this year's offender by a lot.
By a lot,
dude. Here's the thing: is that I thought that Wrinkle in Time couldn't be topped for shittiest movie of the year, and now it might not even hit the bottom 10.
It's not even hitting the 10.
It's not even hitting the bottom 10.
Mine's at like in the bottom 25. I'm like, that should be lower. And then I looked at them. I'm like, no.
No, you're like, no, that makes sense. That sounds right.
Because every 7 days I reevaluate my list just to see where everything is sitting. Because sometimes shit gets
sometimes
around.
You watch a movie and you're immediately excited about it, and you're like, "That's the best movie I've seen this year." And then you're like, is it as good as Annihilation?
Bring it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Not sorry to bother you. That one stays steady at number 1.
Hell yeah, I've not seen that yet. We'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, and then like I see these movies and I'm like, oh no, I saw 25 worse movies than that this year by a lot.
Oh man, and then like, so that's the plot, and that's like one part of this movie. Next, let's talk about performances, because this also pissed me off. Hey, Tom Hardy, I've seen you in dozens of movies and you're always good.
Yeah.
Why aren't you good in this?
Doesn't care.
Why don't you? He just seriously did not give a fuck. Like, he barely goes.
It looks like his eyes were barely open for a lot of it.
Yeah, his fucking eyes are shut. You know, he's like, he's not paying attention.
Walking through this movie,
it feels like he read his lines in the script and nothing else. Like, he doesn't understand the concept or the context for each of his lines, and he just blurts them out. It's weird because I love Tom Hardy. He's in the pantheon, dude.
Yeah, he's one of the greats. He's one of the great modern actors.
Yeah, he's in the Holy Trinity with Idris Elba and Oscar Isaac.
Yeah,
who also after Last Jedi might be also out. So he might be out.
But Oscar's got some shit. He's also taking a year off after the next Star Wars, and it's like, good, reevaluate.
Yeah. Do more shit like Annihilation. That's what I want Oscar Isaac.
Do 7 more Ex Machina type vehicles.
Yeah, just
go to A24 and be like, I've got 5 vehicles here that I want to make.
Can you just be like, you know how like Johnny Depp is Tim Burton's guy?
Yeah.
Can we just get Oscar Isaac to be Alex Garland's guy?
I think he is, though.
Do you think he is his guy? Oh yeah, because he was in both those movies.
And I think he'll be in the next one, whatever it is. He is remaking The Beach, and I've heard possibly Sunshine.
Yeah, he's gonna remake The Beach to make it not bad.
Yeah, to make it not shitty.
But I don't know how you can remake Sunshine, because that movie's already good.
Yeah, that one's good. This guy's Cillian Murphy in it, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Right there, it's a 4-star at least.
Yeah, absolutely, at least. I don't know if I'd say it's 5, but it is 4. And then, so the performances, that's just Tom Hardy, though.
Yeah.
Then you got Michelle Williams. She was asleep, I think.
Everybody was napping during this.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
so let's speed through
this. Is this not an Academy Award-winning actress?
That's right.
Is this not an Academy Award-winning actress? What the fuck? Like, why don't you want to act for some reason? Riz Ahmed is fine, I think. Riz Ahmed is fine. Jenny Slate is good, but she's wasted, so don't worry about it. Fucking wasted.
I'm surprised Hannibal wasn't in this shit.
Yeah, Hannibal Buress didn't like show up for a one-liner. Don't worry, he's third build. He's build above Riz Ahmed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that's now another really big problem I have with this movie is the visuals. This is 2018. This is a big budget movie.
It's Sony though,
and it looks bad. Like the fucking CG looks bad. Venom's face looks fucking fucked up. It looks like a video game. It looks so bad. And then Riot looks like slightly better, but still really, really bad.
Well, it's like these weird, like full body cartoon characters, like because Venom doesn't really look like a person because he's too big and wide and shit.
Yeah, it's too.
So it's like they have to animate the entire thing basically, and it just looks horrible.
Well, and then when you do that,
they make him look like the cartoon. Like he looks like the thing in the book. That fucking Rob Liefeld drew with the giant top. And
the big torso, the fucking big torso and the little legs.
The giant top. You have to animate the whole thing. You can move.
Yeah. Also, how come after they tried to kill Venom, Michelle Williams also just became friends with him?
dude, I don't understand even a second of this fucking movie.
I don't get it. I don't get how anybody watched this and was like, yes, that is content. That's shit I'm looking for.
Dude, I was straight up. I had a nightmare about watching this movie. Like watching the movie.
Here's the thing: is that I understand now why Kevin Feige was so weary about putting his universe on this.
Feige.
Feige, whatever. Kevin Feige. It makes sense now.
Yep.
It makes a lot of sense because I bet you there was an original cut of this movie that was more MCU centric because Tom Holland was on set for this movie.
Yeah,
he's not in it, and I bet you Kevin Feige was like
with Sony, so he's allowed to be on set.
Yeah, but it means he was in it though. Like it means he was probably there's probably a cut of this movie where he's in it, especially given how much they cut out. Yeah. And I bet you Kevin Feige saw a cut of this movie and was like, "Take that the fuck out. I'm not part of this. I'm not a part of this."
He'd be like, "Okay, you don't get Homecoming 2 if he's in this fucking thing." He's like, "You guys don't get it. You just don't get it." He's like, "We're Disney. We don't have to have Homecoming 2. He's still on contract for another 2 fucking Avengers movies. We don't need this."
Yeah, this is a fucking favor. So you take him out of this movie right now and you say this is a different thing.
It's like Spider-Man is technically owned by Sony. He could have been in this movie.
And it seems like originally he was planned to be because the IMDb kept crediting him and then they would take it down.
Yeah, you heard it when you were at the gym. You heard like some guys were talking about how he was on set.
Yeah, and then
how he was in the movie and shit.
Yeah, I was at the gym and I'm pretty sure.
You were in the sauna, right?
Yeah, I was in the sauna, and I'm pretty sure Riz Ahmed was in there talking about it. Yeah. And so they kept slipping them onto the IMDb and then taking them down, slipping them on and taking them down. And I'm like, why do they keep doing this? And it makes sense now because they weren't sure if they wanted to keep that stuff because Disney was like, fuck you.
They're like, we'll cancel it, motherfucker. I know it's halfway done filming. We'll cancel this cocksucker thing.
Dude, it's in the can, but we'll fucking just straight throw it in the garbage. We can afford it.
Dude, we'll take this hit. We just spent $72 billion on Fox. We'll take a hit.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to take $150 million hit. We'll be fine. We're gonna be fine.
Dude, we just got a crazy tax break. We don't give a fuck about your Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. So yeah. It's
one of the worst things I've ever seen. What do you got on the Chadsky scale there?
My Chadsky scale's a half. Like I just can't believe it
breaks
exists.
the Chadsky scale.
Yeah. Like I almost gave it the legendary 0.
Legendary 0, dude.
Fucking legendary. This movie makes BVS look like fuck Citizen Kane.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
It's really bad. And like I've had people like tell me that my review of this movie is harsh, and I don't think it's mean enough.
Not. Send them over to this. We did 45 minutes on this cocksucker.
It's not mean enough. So let's pop into some Stephen King.
37 minutes on that fucking
Jesus fucking Christ. Let's talk about Stephen King. And we didn't even do like beginning banter really. We just got Podbot to introduce the movie.
Yeah, Podbot introduced it. He's over there charging. Oh, his eyes flickered. That's cool.
Well, I think like is Podbot like a trigger word for him? Does it like turn him on?
Yeah, maybe.
You just got to say Podbot. It's like Alexa.
He's excreting lube right now.
Does he record everything we say and send it to the Gov?
I think that's we have him recording the show now too. So
perfect.
So if there's any weird audio glitches this episode, that's why.
Yeah, absolutely. We can blame the Podbot.
It looks good now. I'm looking at the levels. It looks okay now. It was real weird at the beginning.
So I literally I watched Maximum Overdrive last night before I went to bed.
God, I can't believe you made me watch Maximum Overdrive.
And then I watched Apt Pupil like first thing this morning. So like I watched these bad boys back to back. So whatever you want to start with, I'm in.
Let's start with Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. So this is the only film that Stephen King has a directorial credit on.
That's right.
The only thing he's ever directed, actually. It's the one director credit he has on IMDb.
Yeah, he made this movie. He's like, I'm not good at this.
Yeah, I can. Ooh. And here's the thing, is that the first 10 minutes, it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be pretty whack.
Yeah, it's got the old AC/DC soundtrack.
Yeah, it's got the AC/DC soundtrack. You have the fucking bridge coming up and all those cars squishing together and all the people screaming fun. And a lot of blood. And you're like,
there's a handful of fun moments.
You're like, holy fuck, this is going to be really fun. And then you get the rootinest, tootinest villain of all time who comes in and he's like, hey there, Bubba.
Hey, Bubba, I'm your dad.
Hey, Bubba. He's like, hey, Bubba, I want you to clock in for 8 hours, but work for 9. Yeah, hey, Bubba. And here's the thing, is that later in the movie, you find out that his name is Bubba,
Oh yeah, so he's just calling everybody Bubba.
And he's just calling everybody else Bubba. I thought it was the fucking Emilio Estevez character's name for like the first 20 minutes.
Or just like a term of endearment, kind of like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yeah.
Where he's like, yeah, Bubba, kill that bitch, Bubba.
Kill that bitch, Bubba. Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a classic film that deserves a classic rating.
Yeah, which is a 5-star. And Maximum Overdrive is not a classic film that deserves a classic rating.
Dude, I'm pissed that you're so obsessed with this movie that you made me watch it.
It's so... I never seen it, so it just seemed so wacky
I've seen
to
it like
me.
3 times in the last 2 years.
Because like people are
pissed.
Because people tell you, they're like, this movie is about aliens possessing semi-trucks, and you're like, holy fuck, that sounds fun.
A lot of the time, it's just trucks driving around.
Yeah, they're going in a circle, and I don't know why. Hey, and then the next morning they're like, Chadley, plug me in, beep beep beep, Morse code, plug me in,
like, beep beep beep, plug me in, beep beep.
And so like the entire time they're driving around all night, just driving in circles, and then the next morning they're like, we're out of fuel, and it's like, then why'd you drive in circles all night?
It's one of those movies where like, when technology first starts killing people, it's like it's cool. It's like the start. Yeah. It's like the start of the Children of the Corn, where they kill all those people in the same diner. I think it looks very similar.
It's absolutely the same diner.
But yeah, like, and they're like the electric knife like cuts that lady, and it's like,
my favorite one is the soda machine that's like popping fucking soda so hard that it's cracking people's skulls.
Great visual, love it.
Really, really cool.
Then there's like a machine gun. Cool.
There's a machine gun car. Yeah, that's great. I love when the little machine gun car rolls up. It just looks so dinky.
Yeah, because they couldn't afford a cooler machine gun car.
Couldn't afford that. No, of course not.
But I like the idea, and Stephen King is obsessed with that, by the way, of technology coming to life, like the Mangler, for example.
Yeah, the Mangler's another good example. That one's more Satan, less alien.
Yeah, that's a Satan taking over a washing machine for some reason.
And here's the thing: is that like Emilio Estevez like briefly tries to Emilio. We've never talked about Emilio Estevez. I don't think we've never had the opportunity. But he like briefly mentions like why he thinks the aliens have possessed the trucks, and he's like, they're trying to do a clean sweep and kill everybody here. But clearly that's not what they were doing, because they were like, if you gas us up, we will not kill you. And then guess what? They don't.
They're like, please, we're so thirsty.
Please plug me in.
Plug me in. I'm so thirsty.
And so, and that's clearly podcast bot. Please go back to sleep.
Yeah, go back to sleep. Why did he activate?
I have no idea. He took 4 steps and gave up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all he can take at a time. We don't know. But when it's proven that in fact is not their motivation, then what is? What's the motivation of the aliens in this movie?
Getting shot at by bazookas. I've never seen a movie that used bazookas so many times. I was like, yeah,
fucked up.
Maybe that movie with Hulk Hogan where he's like, there's like a killer truck or whatever.
That's this movie, but
but it's a monster truck, and it goes through the mall. It's very crazy.
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar. But anyway, so here's another weird fucking pick I've had about this movie when I was watching it, because it makes no sense. So it's been made in the beginning of the movie. You find out that the owner of the restaurant has like this bunker downstairs that has all these weapons, and you're like, oh, that's really fun, but it's a secret. Nobody's allowed to know what's down there. And then at one point he gets pissed off. He goes down. He comes back up with a fucking bazooka.
Right.
And then in the next scene, Emilio Estevez is like, so how much firepower he really got? How much firepower he really got down there? I think he's already shown you how much firepower he really got down there. He has a fucking bazooka. He clearly has a lot down there, you fucking guy.
Yeah, you guy. Why is this movie so long?
It's 100 minutes, and it's way too long. It's way too long.
This is a movie about trucks attacking a town.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, 100 minutes worth of content.
That is a really great idea. Like the idea of trucks just suddenly becoming murderous and like ganging
up. That's a really great idea.
It's not a great idea, but it's silly, and there's a lot of.
It's definitely like a horror trope that kind of works.
But
I think when you look at a movie like Duel, that's a better execution of this. The car isn't possessed, but there's a maniac driving the truck.
Yeah. But like for me, I think that it invites a lot of opportunity for really awesome and crazy scenes. But instead, what they did is they're like, oh, what if the trucks didn't do anything? And
your favorite horror movie trope, like when they introduce ghosts and then ghosts don't do anything.
The ghosts don't do anything. Yeah. They introduce the trucks. The trucks don't do anything, and everybody sits in a diner and looks at them. No.
Yeah, they're gonna run out of gas eventually.
Yeah, they're gonna run out of gas eventually.
Until give me some of that gas. Yum yum.
Until they're like, Chadley, plug me in. But that's all it is. It's like Emilio Estevez. Everybody feels really safe in this movie. Like they all just stay in the diner and they're like, well, it's going to pass in 7 days. So let's just hang out here. And then they're like, and I don't know why they didn't do that. And here's another crazy thing is that eventually the trucks get pissed and they just start fucking launching into this diner. And but like at this point, everybody's gone into the sewer and run away. Why didn't we start with them crashing into the diner? They're all hiding in there.
You 50,000 pound truck plaster walls, tiny diner.
Yeah. What the fuck? It makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. There's so many times in this movie where I'm like, man, I think I would have done that much differently. For instance, if I were Emilio Estevez, I might have acted in this movie. A choice he decided not to do.
Well, that's Emilio, though.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing: is I've seen. Oh, look, this is gonna be a weird throw, but like I've seen Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks, classic film.
Yeah, he kind of goes. I've seen Breakfast Club. He goes. But in this movie, he's like, "You're the worst person I've ever met. You are really irredeemable scum, Bubba. I hate you." And it's like, oh, okay, you're not gonna go on fucking a second take. Not gonna do a second take on that one. Now that you understand the line,
King's too coked out to give a fuck.
And like it's very clear that this is coke fueled to shit, dude. Like this is the most coke fueled thing I've ever seen.
It's so ADD and erratic of everything that's happened. It's like now let's have trucks run into a building. That'll be fun.
Now here's another thing.
AC/DC's blaring.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. The entire soundtrack is AC/DC songs, and here's the thing. I don't care about AC/DC. I think they're the Nickelback of the 80s. They wrote High Voltage once, and then they wrote it another 80 times, and that's a career apparently. But I think there must have been some weird deal where they're like, okay, you can play our music in your movie, but when you do it, it has to be like a commercial. But not only that, but you can't alter the songs at all. So you have to play the full versions, which means that you get the full intro to Hell's Bells. Now, here's why that's a problem. Because the first 25 seconds of Hell's Bells is just dong, dong, which, because nobody in the movie is reacting to it, just seems like a sound effect that was placed incorrectly.
That was real weird. I was like,
I was like, anybody looking around to figure out where that fucking sound is coming from?
Well, here's the real reason. Stephen King just likes AC/DC. That's the reason.
It's a wild opinion, but it makes sense. It just... this movie feels like it's going places, and then they're like, oh, before we make this accidentally good. Because like that first 10 minutes where it's just like going across the globe, like it's not, I wouldn't say it's good, but it's fun where it's going across the globe and all these I think there is fucking things.
Quite a bit of fun.
The fucking
like peppered throughout this movie.
The pinball machine kills the guy. Like that's fun.
There's just so much of that middle shit that means nothing and then just leads to nowhere. They're on a boat. They're just leaving. They're on a boat leaving.
Then there's they do kind of explain that, but also
with
not
text
really
on screen.
Yeah. Okay. Hold up, because we are going to get to that in a few minutes. There's also this
few minutes, Chadley. Can we wrap this shit? Jesus Christ.
There's one more thing I do really want to talk about. There's like this character, and it's like this girl character, and at the beginning of the movie she's picked up by a hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker is like, hey, you want to fuck me? And she's like, you are gross and sick and fat and disgusting, I hate you. And then 20 minutes later, Emilio Estevez pulls the same shit, and she's like, you're a hero, I'm gonna fuck you. And it's like, oh, okay, there's a double standard going on. Is it because salesman fat ugly and Emilio Estevez hot to fuck?
He's a little baby. Little baby Charlie Sheen.
Because she makes it very clear that she's like, I don't want to be hit on like that. I don't want to be touched like that. I don't want anybody around me like that. And then Emilio Estevez is like, I'm going to touch your pussy. And she's like, yeah, hell yeah.
Sick, nasty.
Sick and nasty. So then the ending comes. They run away. They got on the boat. Now, the reason they get on the boat is because apparently there's an island with no vehicles. Very convenient.
Sure.
So convenient. God, that's so goddamn convenient.
Incredibly convenient.
Just apparently like fucking 4 miles away, there's a boat that'll take you to an island with no vehicles.
Oh, but boats?
And then
they don't want food?
Then they're driving away on the boat. And by fucking God, I was pissed because text on screen.
Wall of text.
Wall of lots of it. 2 days later, a UFO was destroyed by a Russian satellite. Okay, well, that sounds like an interesting visual, but that's all right. We're just going to move on from that. Could have put that, just could have had that in the movie. Just put it in the movie. I just put it in the fucking movie. And then they talk about like, oh, and then 7 days later, the comet passed and all of the fucking machines all calmed down. And it's like, okay, them living on a deserted island is much more what I want to see than them sitting in a diner looking at cars. Like, that's much more what I want to see, Stephen King, you fucking more. It's like he made half the movie and then was like, you guys, you know what? I think I got to tap. Like, like this is, I can't.
Already 100 minutes.
I think I got to tap, you guys. That's about as much as I got for this.
So can you put some text on screen?
And then the producers like looked at each other and they're like, oh, fuck. Like, what do we do? We can't. Do we just make it like this? And they're like, I guess.
Can we put some text on screen?
And that is why Stephen King was never hired to direct again.
He also didn't want to because he saw the movie and he's like, well, I better let the professionals make these. And then he's like, Stanley Kubrick, though, not him.
1 star. That's a 1 star on the Chatsky scale.
That's fucking horrible. I can't believe you made me watch it.
It's really bad. Yeah, I can't believe you've seen it twice this year.
I've seen it 3 times in the last 2 years.
You want me to apologize? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you made me watch Mercy.
No, you loved Mercy, though.
No, I didn't. Up next, we got Apt Pupil, Bryan Singer Boy Party.
Ooh, welcome to the Boy Party.
The original, the OG Boy Party.
We've been leading up to this for the last 8 months, planting little seeds about Bryan Singer, Roland Emmerich Boy Parties, and here we go. We're talking about it like it's a Bryan Singer Boy Party. Out in public, we're talking about it.
This is the movie that landed Bryan Singer in hot water.
Oh, well, no, because he's a working director.
Yeah, I know, which is crazy. But this is the first movie where he had the sexual allegations put against him, because apparently in this movie, he filmed a scene, because all these kids are like 15 in this movie, and he filmed a scene in this movie where boys naked in the shower without consent of parents.
Yeah, and he was like whipping them with towels and shit, apparently.
Hey, Bryan Singer, you're a rapist.
Hey, Bryan Singer, you're a little boy rapist.
So
and guess what? All the characters in this movie
are also boy rapists. Yes, they're also boy rapists. They make it very, very clear that everybody wants to rape boys in this movie. And that seems pretty on brand, to be honest. So let's actually talk. All of the allegations aside, let's talk about the movie.
Sure.
I kind of like it.
It's not that bad.
I do. I kind of like it.
Great by any. It's far too long.
There's a lot of problems. That being one of them. I even texted you at one point. I was like, "How many endings this movie got?" Because it feels like a lot. Mm-hmm. Feels like so many. And then the ending that they did give, it's like, "Oh, that's the one we're going with, huh?" All right. So this movie has a great premise.
It's good for like
45 minutes. Yeah, 45. Yeah, it's 45 minutes, and then it sort of rolls out of control and becomes about nothing. But the premise of this movie is that this kid is learning about the Holocaust in school, and he's so interested in it. So interested, in fact, that he recognizes somebody in his town who looks like a Nazi soldier who worked in Auschwitz and Patton, and he does like a bunch of investigation. He does for prints, he takes pictures, comparisons, etc., and essentially proves that this is this guy in hiding. It is this guy. So he's such a fuckhead that he goes to this guy's house and is like, I have all this shit on you and I could turn you into the fucking police right now because you're a Nazi war criminal, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang out with you because I want to know all this shit. And then this movie falls into a pattern for the next hour. And here's the pattern. the pattern is that these two, this old man played by Ian McKellen, who by the way,
Fantastic.
fucking unbelievable,
So good.
fucking unbelievable. He's so good. Ian McKellen and what's this guy's name's like Brad Alfonso or something like that.
He killed himself because Bryan Singer raped him.
Brad Renfro. Did he actually kill himself?
Yeah, he did.
Dude, that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. So Brad Renfro and Ian McKellen, they're sort of like building. This is the cycle. They build trust. They learn about
Died
Nazi
of a heroin
shit.
overdose at 25.
Ooh, that's fucked up.
Because Bryan Singer raped him.
Yeah, no shit. So these two characters are building trust. Then it gets to a point where it gets out of control, and then they both start wanting to do Nazi shit. And so they're like trying to like throw cats into ovens, and like they're fucking heiling Hitler and shit, and like
where that cut.
Yeah.
March. It's very voyeuristic. It's very creepy.
Yeah.
This isn't technically a horror movie, but it's very creepy.
And then one of them at some point will be like, I'm turning you in. And then they'll have like this huge blowout. And then they'll be like, okay, we can't turn each other in. We can't turn each other in. And then building trust. Nazi shit. I'm turning you in. Can't turn each other in. Building trust. Nazi shit. I'm turning you in. And like that is like the first hour of the movie. It's just that over and over and over again. Because which is unfortunate because I do like it's as fucked up and like unnatural as it is, like the relationship between Ian McKellen and Brad Renfro like is legitimately genuine. Like, and it feels like Ian McKellen's character is a shitty Nazi. Like he's a fucking bad, shitty Nazi. But you can tell he legitimately likes this kid and like cares about this kid and like wants this kid to like succeed.
It's a weird like. You can feel all of Bryan Singer's psychosexual energy. Like,
Bryan Singer is not healthy.
No. You can feel like all like the submissive, like dom shit he's put into this movie when they like where it's talk to each other and shit.
Where this old man is like, I've got dirt on you, little boy, and you're gonna do everything I want. And Bryan Singer's like, Brad Renfro, I got dirt on you. And so sickening. And it is fucked up. Like it is really, really fucked up. Like the actual story, and like it is like uncomfortable. And it's about the hour mark thing because like the first hour is interesting because like they are just of like on a genuine like from a genuine standpoint. I actually am also interested in that part of history. I'm not as interested as this kid that I want to be a Nazi. I'm interested in the events because I obviously think it's horrifying, but like. I get it, and then they start doing Nazi shit, and I'm like, I don't get it anymore. And now they're like trying to burn cats and shit, and like put them in the oven. Now I don't get it anymore. Now, they're killing homeless guys. Now I don't.
Yeah,
get
that was
it anymore.
pretty wild.
Yeah, there's like this scene where like this homeless guy is like, "I'll fuck you for $10," and I'm like, Bryan Singer, what? And about the hour mark is when this movie hits a disconnect. And you know what I think it is that disconnect? Enter David Schwimmer.
All of a sudden, we enter a true boy rapist. Complete with pedophile mustache.
Yeah. And so, like, everybody's sort of like a hinted boy rapist, but this dude is pretty confirmed boy rapist. Like, a boy rapist.
So much so, he gives him his phone number. He's like, anytime you want to come over.
This is my home phone number. I don't have a wife.
Come over to a Bryan Singer romantic boy party with me.
Yeah, David Schwimmer's been to a Bryan Singer boy party for sure.
I'm not going to throw those accusations out, but
I am. I've already done it. It's too late. So David Schwimmer comes in, and here's the thing, okay? I am going to say this as an actual, and I know not many people share this, especially in 2018, share this opinion, but I like Friends. I do. I think Friends...
That's a wild opinion.
I think I like Friends. I think it's fun. But David Schwimmer's not an actor. He's clearly not. He's also not a director. If you've seen Run, Fat Boy, Run, he can't do that either.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, but he's a better director than he is an actor, I think. Yeah, and he's bad. He's so, like, everything he does, he just puts on serious face and is like, anytime you want to come and speak to me, I will be your friend. And like, I even love like when he's like, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to talk about, you can talk to me about it. Your grades, girl problems, and it's like, don't what?
Boy problems,
boy problems, boy parties.
you ever get invited to any little boy parties?
He's like, anything you want to talk about, girl problems, boy party, boy problems.
Got you ever act as furniture? you ever serve taquitos topless
at a boy party. So then, like, the movie just becomes about David Schwimmer thinking that Ian McKellen is this kid's granddad.
for some reason.
But here's the thing that's so crazy to me. Because at the end of the movie, look, this movie came out in 98. We're going to spoil the fuck out of it. At the end of the movie, the police find out and they arrest Ian McKellen, and he's in that hospital and he fucking breaks the cyanide pill or whatever.
Yeah.
But during all of that, after they find out that he's a Nazi war criminal, they go to this kid's house and he's like, oh, I was just, he was like a mentor to me. Like I had no idea
It's
that
really
any of this.
because like when he starts blackmailing the kid, all of a sudden he just becomes the best student of all time because that's apt pupil. Like it's like, yeah, we've got so many apt pupils in this
is the
country.
most aptest pupil.
Yeah, this country's full of apt pupils.
Yeah.
There's good guys on both sides. There's good guys on both sides.
So yeah, but like when Ian McKellen, like when the kid blackmails Ian McKellen, he's just being a fuckface.
Yeah.
But when Ian McKellen blackmails the kid, it's like he's got good reasons.
Yeah, and he's trying to be like good guy. Like all of a sudden you're like, oh well, the Nazis got good intentions.
Yeah, trying to be helpful for sure. But then they catch a Nazi. They bring the FBI goes to this kid's house and they're like, "Did you know he was a Nazi?" He's like, "No, seriously. Like I hung out with him all the time.
I had no idea.
I had no
He's like
fucking
talking to
idea.
his dad. He's like, I didn't know this guy was a
I
Nazi.
didn't know." And he's like, he's really selling it.
Uh-huh.
And then David Schwimmer shows up to his house and is like, "That guy you said is your grandpa your grandpa as a Nazi fugitive." And then the kid has like a freak out, even though there's a much simpler thing that you could do to get yourself out of hot water.
Yeah, no, he's like,
if you tell anybody, I'm going to tell people you fucked me.
I'm going to tell people that you're a boy rapist.
I'm going to tell everybody that you're a boy rapist and suck my
he's
dick.
like, I've gotten really good at being blackmail, man. It's like, well,
I'm a
no, you
blackmailer.
haven't.
Yeah.
But
And so at this point, I have to wonder, why didn't he just say he wasn't my grandfather, he was my mentor, and he was trying to help me, and it worked?
because you're valedictorian. It did work.
Yeah,
Yeah, a pupil.
it did work. Like he was trying to help him, and it worked. It wasn't manipulative, yes, but at this point, you already graduated. I think you can just say, like, look, this is what the dealio was. It's not like, and even still, he wasn't failing any of the classes. They wouldn't take away his fucking graduation. What are you gonna do? Just say, I didn't know he was a Nazi. But instead, he makes like this scene where he's like, what are you gonna do, David Schwimmer? I'm gonna tell everyone you fucked me. And it's like, and then the movie just ends. And it's like, oh, okay, evil prevails, which is all right, I guess.
Yeah, but there is that really crazy scene that's completely unnecessary where like a Auschwitz survivor is in the hospital beside
Yeah.
McKellen and he recognizes him as just he happens to recognize him. And you're like,
And he
wow,
just-
this is very crazy. And it's like feels like another false ending, but then it just keeps going and you're like, huh.
Yeah. Yeah, like I almost wonder if the movie should have ended there. Because the movie does have
Where
like
it
4
should've-
endings. Yeah.
For sure where it should have ended.
It should have ended with that guy crying, and then it's zooming in on like his tattoo,
Yeah.
like his Auschwitz tattoo,
Yeah.
and then fade to black, and then it would have been like, oh fuck, it would have been
That's
powerful,
a way stronger ending.
especially since in the previous scene, Ian McKellen said, "I'm gonna live for another 20 years." If they had ended it like that, it's like, oh shit, evil prevails, evil fucking prevails.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then they find like the homeless dude's body, and they're like, well, this isn't that big of a deal, but he is a Nazi.
They explain everything, and like normally I like when movies explain shit, but like I could have some loose threads in this bad boy.
Yeah, I honestly think it
It'd be
would have
scarier.
helped. Yeah,
It'd be way scarier.
it would have been more uncomfortable because, like, yes, evil prevails in this movie, but like only kinda.
Yeah, no, really.
Yeah, sorta.
It's caught.
Yeah, he gets caught, but the kid done.
Yeah, but like, what?
Yeah.
Who cares? He's
Yeah.
gonna live full life anyway. He's not Nazi.
Yeah, he's gonna
technically.
forget about all this shit. He's not actual Nazi.
Technically Nazi.
Yeah,
Like the fucking like Ian McKellen, who's
Yeah.
real Nazi.
yeah, and Ian McKellen, like, let me tell you, like, this movie is worth it to see him alone. He's fucking unbelievably
Yeah.
good in this movie. Like, and like, I'm not surprised by that.
Not surprised. Hey, not surprised.
Not surprised. I really love Ian McKellen. So I'm gonna say on the Chadsky scale, that's an even 3.
I'll give it a 2.
Give it a 2. Is
I give it a 2.
that's a little low? I think it entertained me. I was in it. I was in it.
Way too fucking long.
Way too fucking long. Yeah, and I get that you're trying not to give Bryan Singer Boy Party points.
Don't deserve points. You
Yeah,
don't deserve
fair.
these fake points.
Fair enough.
You
Fair
don't
enough.
deserve these points that mean nothing in the
Yeah.
long run.
These points
From
for
a movie that came out
Yeah.
23 years ago.
Yeah. What's our last movie today? Summer of '84.
Summer of '84,
made by a bunch of Swedish dudes who made Turbo Kid a few years ago.
That's right. I've heard that's good. Never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw it either, but it looked good.
Poster's cool. It's got Michael Ironside as the bad guy. I love him.
Like it.
Love me some Michael
I
Ironside.
really like it. Oh, but you know what's better than having Michael Ironside as the bad guy? Rich Summers.
Oh my god, I fucking love Rich Summers. Dude, when that Mad Men cast is working, I'm like, hell yeah. Why is it that the Mad Men cast works so much more than every other TV show of that era? Fucking Dexter, fucking Lost, even Breaking Bad. Every person
Aaron
from this
Paul
cast,
isn't working.
Every person from that cast, because the Mad Men cast was insane. By the way,
it was like Christina Hendricks and John Hamm and
that other girl that's in everything now.
Yeah, I forget what her name is.
From Handmaid's Tale and shit.
Yeah.
All these people are fucking working because they were all incredible. Well, that Mad Men cast, dude.
A lot of people,
Rich Summer.
A lot of people think of Rich Summer as a Mad Men alumni, but you know what he also is? He's also a Breaking Bad alumni.
That's right.
And he's also an Office alumni. This dude was in my two favorite shows of all time, dude. Yeah, dude. I love him, dude. And he's fucking awesome. He got 40 as shit, though. Like, he got real fucking 40. Like, he was like 25 a few years ago. Now he's 40 for some reason.
He's got that baby face.
Yeah, and it wasn't 15 years ago he was 25, but he's 40 now. And he's unbelievable in this movie.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite part by far because he's like he can play that like kind of like creepy guy, but nice.
Yeah, like a nice creepy guy. So what this movie is about is it's essentially like a Stephen King Stand By Me, Stranger Things type movie, but instead of being about something paranormal like aliens, or I guess Stand By Me is about a murder, but like instead of being paranormal, essentially it's more like Disturbia.
Yeah, so it's essentially exactly Disturbia.
It's a lot like Disturbia, but instead of Shia LaBeouf alone in a house, it's 5 ragtag kids. You got the fat kid,
and people
funny
love
kid,
this stuff right now.
The bad boy, yeah, and they like this. Like clearly, someone looked at the script and was like, "This will sell."
Yeah,
this is absolutely going to sell.
But yeah,
didn't. But it. I could see looking at the script and thinking like, this is going to be incredibly successful. And so it is like that kind of movie where you have this ragtag group of kids and they all have like their job when it comes to like the stakeouts. Because the one thing I don't like about this movie, because I do like this movie, I think it's good, is that they tell you who the murderer is in the first 80 seconds. And it's like, oh, okay.
But it does prey on that thing where nobody believes kids, right? And I good concept, sure. Seen it before, but sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So much to the point where like these kids are getting like grounded and shit for doing the investigation at all, which by the way, the stakes seem kind of low in the first like hour and a bit of this movie, because it's like, dude, if we get caught...
also like it seems a little too easy for a lot of things, especially when like the babysitter girl just wants to bang him all of a sudden. That's probably my least favorite part of this movie.
I thought that the babysitter just like suddenly being like, I'm gonna fuck you. There's nothing I want more than to fuck you.
Your mom, I want to fuck you.
I was pretty sure that was some sort of ploy.
Yeah,
like it was some like or even like a misdirect.
But no,
like where you find out like, oh, it's not actually the cop guy. It's actually her, and she's just trying to figure out what we know. You know, like that's what it seemed like to me. But instead, it's not that. It's just this incredibly beautiful 18-year-old suddenly wants to fuck a 15-year-old. Huh?
Doesn't really make logistical sense.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this one, because I'm sorry.
It would make more sense if she wanted to fuck Rich Summer.
I'm sorry. Is this 15-year-old wet dream? Yeah, it feels like 15-year-old wet dream.
15 male fantasy here?
Yeah,
what's going on here?
What do you think I'm in? Boy parties?
Is this boy party? What's going on here?
I like the cast of characters, like the main cast of characters.
Yeah.
Enough.
They're all white.
The main character is good. You got your token fat guy who I love. The token funny.
Have one.
He's fat. He's fat funny. Funny fat. Yeah. Then you got like the one character who, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't do anything. Who's like the kid with the leather jacket and his parents fight all the time.
Yeah, but he's cool and
he's cool and he's edgy, but he doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do
any. Like the only people who do anything are like the main kid, the fat kid, and the girl. Like they're the only people who contribute to this. And then there's another kid. I don't even remember who the fuck this other kid was or what his role was.
Definitely there though.
Yeah, there was 4 kids. I know that for sure. I have no fucking idea what that was like. And I watched this movie 3 nights ago, and I've already forgotten one of the principal characters.
Like, I know you're Swedish and you filmed this thing in Vancouver, but like throw a black kid in there.
Yeah, come on. Was there not a black kid?
No.
Yeah. And so like essentially this character Mackie is like what the whole movie revolves around, which is great because Rich Sommer is fucking believable.
So like really, really good.
Really,
like, I know
shockingly good.
it, but he's fucking amazing.
I was quite surprised how good he was. And so then these kids get grounded, and like that's the stakes for the first hour and a half, and that's the problem is that that's the it's not the fact that they're gonna get murdered.
No,
like the murderer finds out that they're trying to figure out that he's the murderer, and he doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
he doesn't do anything. He's just like, oh, kids, I ain't trying to murder you, and they're like, all right, so it checks out, I guess. And he's like, out of context, I guess that seems really wacky. Oh, it was like a skinny nerd kid. That's what the last kid was with glasses. That's right, skinny nerd kid, which he kind of contributed. He was the one who was like, he bought all this dirt for flowers. He bought all this dirt for flowers because they're following him and he's buying all this dirt. And they're like, no way, he needs that much dirt. And then they find out he's using it for flowers. And it's like, that checks out.
Checks out.
There's like so many times in this movie where someone's like, yeah, maybe it is him who's the murderer. And then he says something and they're like, shit, that checks out.
God damn, it's airtight alibi.
Yeah. And then
he's a cop, so he knows how to like, and they do mention that in the movie. They're like, well, he's a cop. He would know what to do to get away with this.
Yeah. Airtight alibis. You had mentioned earlier about like everything just being really, really easy, but like the final scene where they like break into his house and like find all the dead kids.
Before that, when he like, or is that after when he comes into his house and he like strangles them?
Yeah,
that's intense, dude. Like that's where it's like, holy shit, this movie's about something.
The last 10 minutes is about something, but until that point, it's just like the stakes are so low, everything seems so easy. They just go into his house and just find dead bodies, and it's like, oh, okay, you just keep leaving these lying around,
like fucked up dead bodies, like he fucked them and shit.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm sorry, you're just gonna leave these bodies around?
Just gonna leave it in a bathtub downstairs?
Yeah, that's a good way to get 100% caught. You fucking guy.
Leave this here, guy.
Yeah, what the fuck, you fucking guy?
Look at this guy.
And then, and like the crazy thing is that they say that he's been doing it for like 10 years, and it's like, oh, you've just been leaving these bodies in your basement for 10 years? Nobody's noticed that?
Well, he probably puts them in the lye tub, right? It's a lye tub.
Yeah, you melt them with sulfuric acid.
Melts them up in the lye tub.
Yeah, hell yeah, melt bodies. And then there's the last 10 minutes, which is the best part of the movie.
It's really good.
The
More
last
of this,
10 minutes.
Please.
Yeah, I would have liked the rest of the movie to be like this, because at this point, everyone's like...
It does turn into a horror movie at that point.
Yeah,
up until then, it's not.
Yeah, up until then, it's a silly mystery. It's like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it's more of a children's thriller.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo. And then he like breaks into this kid's room and is like... Because like everything's fine and dandy.
That's
they're
a
like,
scary scene. Like... I had a nightmare about that the other night.
They're like, mystery solved, son. You're a hero. We're gonna catch this guy. Everything's gonna be all right. You're safe. That's my favorite part, is that they're like, you're safe, which is not right apparently. They're like, we're watching your house. Don't worry, you're safe. And then Mackie rolls up and he fucking just like starts strangling this kid. He throws him. Boy. Yeah. He fucking he puts the cloth on his face with the chloroform, and he drags these kids out into the middle of the woods. And then there's this fucking amazing scene where he is running after these kids and he catches them and he's like, here's what I'm gonna do for you. I would love to kill you right now because you took everything from me, but I'm not going to. One day though, I am going to kill you.
Cut off your arms and your legs and you're gonna be rolling down the street. Turd in the wind.
Turd in the dirt. We are Venom. But and then he's like, I'm going to kill you one day. You will never see it coming, but every day of your entire fucking life, you are going to wonder if today is the day, and one day you'll be right. And I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck.
Like this whole time you're like, this movie ain't that good. And then you text me, you're like, I was wrong. This movie good as fuck.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I thought it was okay before this. But at this point, I'm like, holy fuck. And then like the next scene is just like the kid there, like, and it's like murderer still on the loose. And he's like, I guess you just never know who's a serial killer. And it cuts to credits. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, like, because it's so happy-go-lucky.
That's how you make movie play.
Yeah, it's so happy-go-lucky, and then they're like, well, now that you guys feel safe, we're gonna turn that around on you real quick.
Dude, I love when a movie don't explain it all.
Yeah.
because then it's like you get that little shiver at the end.
Yeah, you get the apt pupil.
Ooh, there's so many apt pupils, Chadley.
Yeah. Oh, we got so many apt pupils.
I was out here in Wisconsin looking around, and I'm like, wow, there's so many apt pupils here registered to vote. There's good guys on both sides.
But yeah, no, I like Summer of '84. I think it's a fun, like
Pretty good.
the first
Could've
90
been
minutes.
better, maybe.
Yeah, the first 90 minutes is a fun, albeit formulaic mystery. And then the last 10 minutes is really where the movie ramps up and gets really good. And I think the climax should obviously be.
I have some plotting issues, especially with the babysitter, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. But so I give this is right middle of the road. This is a 3-star.
3-star, that's right.
Absolutely 3-star on the Chatsky scale. Hey, podcast bot, wake up. Is that gonna work? He responds to my voice. He just woke up.
Hello, Chadley.
Hey, podcast bot, can you tell me what movies we're watching next week?
Next week, you're watching 2 more Stephen King movies.
Yes, which ones?
Starting with Buck's favorite, Dark Tower.
Buck loves Dark Tower.
Starring Idris Elba, Big Papa.
Yeah, Big Papa and Matthew McConaughey, Big Dick Matthew McConaughey.
Big Dicked Matthew McConaughey.
Podcast bot, why does your voice change every time you speak?
Hey, you were also watching Creepshow 2.
Creepshow 2. Now, I know that Creepshow 1 was Stephen King, but did Stephen King have much to do with Creepshow 2? Because I know Romero didn't direct number 2.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
For as far as I can tell, it's Stephen King
written. I think it's written by Stephen King. Isn't it Creepshow 2 like animated or something weird like that?
No, it's not. It's like how the comic books was in between.
Oh, right. Okay,
anyway, it's on YouTube for free, so you guys can all go watch it with us. Just type in Creepshow 2 on YouTube. And
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, that's what I sent you on Messenger. This is my pick. You get to watch it. It's also on Shudder, but I know you don't have $3 a month to pay for that.
Yeah, so. I don't have $3. Sorry.
Then okay, podcast bot, can you get back on the mic, please? Why are you walking away? Do not eat that sausage. You will also be watching First Purge and friend of the pod, Gareth Evans, Apostle.
Hey, before you walk away, podcast bot, I have a question for you.
Plug me in.
Hey, podcast bot, do you have Google, right? Like Google in your system?
No, I use laptop.
Okay, so if I ask you a question, you won't know the answer.
Maybe.
Okay, so the question is, all right, so there's 2 dudes named Gareth in Hollywood who make movies, and I always get them mixed up. There's Gareth Evans and Gareth Edwards.
That's right.
And one of them's shitty and one of them's good.
Gareth Evans of the Raid.
Oh, so it's the good one. It is the good one. Who did Apostle? Okay, good God.
Gareth Edwards of Godzilla.
Yeah, that's exactly who I did not want it to be.
Gareth Evans of the Raid. Netflix movie Apostle.
It's a Netflix movie.
Netflix movie starring Michael Sheen as a cult leader.
I've never.
Professor Runtime. 2 hours and 10 minutes.
No, I'm out now. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Gareth, what are you doing to me?
Gareth Evans. First movie not called Raid.
The Raid. He also made The Raid 2 also, which is fucking an amazing movie.
Well, yeah, it's like Podcast Bot said, first movie not called The Raid. So
yeah.
I don't know. It looks really good. So
yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see that.
I've heard 1 or 5, baby.
1 or 5. I love those. You know what that usually means for us? It means it's a 5.
Yeah, for dumb fucks like us.
Yeah,
that means 5.
If it's a 1 or a 5, it's usually a 5. Like First Reformed. Oh, that's 1 or a 5, but for us, that's clearly a 5. That's a 5. Fucking Mandy, that's a 5.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so make sure you tune in next week. We're gonna be watching those movies. Oh, actually, let's do some trailer trash.
Yeah,
we got
absolutely.
it. Yeah, we got
it.
It
Also has it's Michael Sheen and Steven, so it's gonna be good.
Ooh, I'm still undecided on.
Well, you've never seen The Guest, which is one of the best movies ever made, and you're just writing off Dan Stevens because he was in one Disney movie.
Yeah, true. Speaking of Disney movies, we got our first trailer for Aladdin.
It looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be fucking unreal. Like as soon as like the Arabian Nights music comes on, I'm like
screaming.
I'm like, excuse me, I got a 9-foot boner. I gotta take care of here real quick. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I'm actually like, here's the thing: is when Beauty and the Beast trailers first started rolling up, I was like, I don't know, I don't really think I care, but I care about this because Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie, like my favorite animated Disney movie.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites too.
And I'm like, Will Smith as the genie, I think is an amazing cast, dude. Because Will Smith can get silly, and I want to see Will Smith get silly, and I want him to do topical pop culture references like Robin Williams did. But I don't want it to be the same movie either. The visuals, unbelievable. Not surprising because Disney has $1 billion.
Not surprising.
Disney pumped $1 billion into a movie called Aladdin. But like even in the trailer, like the cinematography is unfucking real. Yeah. Like the dunes are amazing.
Like
the fucking
40 seconds long.
Agrabah in the background. You see fucking the Cave of Wonders. Because like I always wonder, like when they first announced this, I was like, I wonder how that's gonna look. Because I feel like it's gonna look weird. They figured it out. They got it. They figured it out. We're on board. I'm on board. That movie looks fucking unreal. We did also get a second trailer for Glass, which I continue to not want to see, but I know you're gonna fucking drag me to a theater to see that.
Yeah,
fucking thing.
I'm hoping there's a lot of beast action in this one. It looks like there's more. I feel like they revealed a little too much in this trailer. Maybe.
Yeah, like I feel like I see the movie.
I've seen the film.
Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier, but if you're worried about whether or not you'll like Venom, don't worry because the whole movie's in all the trailers. The whole fucking thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's the movie.
There it is. That's the movie. But shittier. Yeah. And so like Glass looks, I don't know, like I don't want to see it. Like I sure don't want to see it, but like I'm just interested enough that I think I gotta. However, I should finish Unbreakable. I've seen like half that movie, but never finished it.
That's wild. How about some Pet Sematary though?
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. I knew they were remaking Pet Sematary, but here's what I didn't know: John Lithgow as Judd.
I don't know though.
Perfect. No, I like it.
He doesn't do the accent though.
Yeah, but he's got the fucking long face. He's got a perfect Judd long face, dude. True. Yeah, he looks like Judd. Who's the other guy too? That's also someone famous. Is it Patrick Wilson, or am I just assuming that because it's a horror film?
No, it's not Patrick Wilson.
Hold on, I'm trying to think now because it is somebody famous who's in that movie who plays like the
Jason
dad.
Clark.
Jason Clark, yeah, that's who it is.
Other Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, our boy, our fucking boy of Everest and Monkey movie fame.
That's right.
Who I really like Jason Clark. I wish he would be in movies again. Hey, Jason Clark.
You just don't watch them.
Yeah, they're just movies I would never watch.
Well, yeah, like Mudbound and shit.
Oh yeah, I didn't see
those movies that you don't watch.
Doesn't he play a slave driver in that movie or something?
Yeah, he sure does.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's a good.
Also, I remember last time we talked about him.
He looks Winchester, right? He is that Patrick Wilson shit now.
Yeah, he's on that Patrick Wilson shit.
Yeah. Hey, just keep making horror movies apparently because people buy them, dude. People will pay for it, and horror movies cost like fucking $15,000 to make, so like it doesn't matter.
The Blumhouse model.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it makes like it's got to make like $4 million to break even, and that's pretty easy. Yeah. So I'm really excited for a lot of those movies. Pet Sematary is probably the one I'm most excited about. I keep rewatching the Bumblebee trailer because I'm doing this thing again that I do every time a Transformer movie comes out where I'm tricking myself.
Yeah, you're like, this might be good.
I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. And I know it ain't. But like my body is like, fuck, that looks awesome. God, it looks so good. God, it looks like they're going to make that movie good. It looks like they finally got it.
Yeah, it's your 12-year-old brain acting real crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of the show. You can follow us on the social. You can follow me at Last Cool Dude. Where are the socials there, Chadley?
The socials are at Movie Epidemic on Twitter, Punch Nerds - Movie Epidemic on Facebook, and the most important one, Movie Epidemic on Instagram, where we post pictures. Please share. We want to be famous. Please. I want money.